The term Epstein Files refers to a large and complex collection of documents, court records, testimonies, flight logs, emails, depositions, settlements, investigative reports, and unsealed legal materials connected to Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy financier who became one of the most infamous criminal figures of the modern era due to his involvement in large-scale sex trafficking of minors. These files did not appear all at once, nor are they a single official folder released by one authority. Instead, they emerged gradually over many years through lawsuits, criminal investigations, journalistic reporting, and court-ordered disclosures, eventually becoming a symbol of secrecy, power, and unanswered questions surrounding elite influence and accountability. To understand what the Epstein Files are, it is necessary to understand who Jeffrey Epstein was, how he operated, how he accumulated power, and why so many documents related to him remained hidden for so long. Jeffrey Epstein presented himself publicly as a successful financier with deep connections to influential people across politics, business, academia, media, and royalty. Despite lacking a clear professional track record that explained his immense wealth, he managed to embed himself within elite circles by offering financial advice, funding projects, donating to institutions, and cultivating relationships with powerful individuals. Behind this polished exterior, Epstein was running a long-term criminal operation centered on exploiting underage girls, often recruiting them through manipulation, money, and coercion. Many victims later described similar patterns. They were approached at a young age, offered money for massages or errands, and gradually drawn into abuse. This pattern formed the foundation of multiple investigations that would later generate the documents now referred to as the Epstein Files. The earliest legal records related to Epstein began surfacing in the early 2000s, when local law enforcement in Florida started investigating allegations of sexual abuse involving minors at his Palm Beach residence. Despite extensive evidence and victim testimony, Epstein received an unusually lenient plea deal in 2008 that allowed him to avoid federal prosecution and serve a short jail sentence with special privileges. This plea deal itself later became a major focus of scrutiny, and documents surrounding it became a critical part of the Epstein Files. Emails between prosecutors, internal memos, and agreements revealed how the case was handled behind closed doors and why many victims were never informed of the deal, raising serious concerns about justice and influence. As years passed, Epstein continued to associate with powerful figures and maintained properties in multiple locations, including New York, Florida, New Mexico, Paris, and a private island in the Caribbean. Flight logs from his private aircraft, sometimes referred to publicly as the Lolita Express, later became some of the most widely discussed documents within the Epstein Files. These logs recorded travel dates, locations, and passenger names. While the presence of a name on a flight log does not prove wrongdoing, these records fueled intense public interest because they showed the breadth of Epstein's social network and raised questions about who had access to his private spaces. The Epstein Files expanded significantly after Epstein was arrested again in 2019 on federal charges of sex trafficking minors. This arrest triggered renewed scrutiny of his past, his associates, and the legal decisions that had protected him for years. Journalists, victims' lawyers, and investigators began re-examining older cases, uncovering additional documents and testimony that had previously remained sealed. When Epstein died in jail later that year under circumstances officially ruled a suicide, public interest intensified further, leading to widespread demands for transparency. His death ensured that many questions would never be answered directly by him, increasing the importance of the documents left behind. One of the most significant sources of the Epstein Files came from civil lawsuits filed by victims against Epstein's associates and enablers. These lawsuits included depositions, sworn statements, internal communications, financial records, and witness testimony. In several cases, courts ordered previously sealed documents to be unsealed, allowing the public to see names, descriptions, and interactions that had been hidden for years. This process did not determine guilt but revealed the scope of Epstein's network and the repeated failures to stop him. A key point often misunderstood about the Epstein Files is that they do not represent a single confirmed list of criminals. Many names appear in the documents for different reasons, including social interactions, business dealings, travel, or hearsay testimony. Being mentioned does not automatically imply criminal activity. Courts and journalists have repeatedly emphasized that allegations must be evaluated individually and supported by evidence. Nevertheless, the presence of prominent figures in these records raised concerns about how power and wealth can shield wrongdoing and delay accountability. Another major category within the Epstein Files consists of victim testimony. Survivors described similar methods of recruitment, abuse, and control, often involving Epstein's staff, properties, and transportation network. These accounts formed the backbone of legal actions and provided crucial insight into how the operation functioned. The consistency across independent testimonies strengthened the credibility of claims and highlighted systemic exploitation rather than isolated incidents. These testimonies are among the most important and sensitive parts of the Epstein Files, serving as historical records of harm suffered by real people. Financial documents also play a significant role in the Epstein Files. Bank records, shell companies, trusts, and financial transactions revealed how Epstein managed his wealth and paid settlements. These records raised questions about money laundering, asset concealment, and how financial systems can be used to obscure criminal activity. Some documents showed large payments made to victims as part of non-disclosure agreements, which further limited public awareness for years. These financial layers added complexity to investigations and demonstrated how wealth can be used as a tool of silence. Another major element of the Epstein Files involves correspondence between Epstein and influential institutions, including universities, foundations, and political organizations. These communications illustrated how Epstein leveraged donations and connections to regain legitimacy even after his criminal conviction. Internal debates within institutions about accepting his money later became public, sparking discussions about ethics, accountability, and reputation laundering. These documents broadened the Epstein Files beyond criminal activity and into questions of moral responsibility among elite organizations. The role of Epstein's associates is another recurring theme within the files. Some individuals were accused by victims of facilitating abuse, recruiting minors, or managing logistics. Others were named as witnesses, employees, or acquaintances. Legal outcomes varied widely, with some cases resulting in settlements and others remaining unresolved. The files show how complex networks operate, where different individuals may have different levels of knowledge, involvement, or responsibility.